together during December PD and having some good communication, collaboration, and discussions about your future classes. So we just wanted to help guide that discussion when you're meeting. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to file transfer out to you the rubric we had sent to you. We had pushed it out prior, but I know we all know we get busy and sometimes things get misplaced. So I am going to push that out to you real quick, and then I'm going to app share it just so we can look at it together. So here comes the self-assessment, and we thought it would be a good idea for you all to meet together first if you have some downtime and actually share this rubric together and discuss this rubric first if you have not done so already. So here's the rubric. So I would suggest if you guys have time prior to VP to fill it out. If not, that's okay. So just go through and highlight each of the areas that you think these are highlighting. Okay, I think I'm here, or I think I'm here. And go through each area based on how you specifically feel you are in all of the areas. And the co-teaching, delivery, classroom management, and be honest, because this is a good thing once you have it completed individually, where you guys can come together, and this is a great way for you all to see your strengths and weaknesses as teacher. So maybe Nicole's really good at providing differentiated instruction. Maybe she rated herself a 4. And maybe I am not that great at that. I'm not good at finding those resources. I have a really hard time differentiating instruction for all of my students. So I rated myself a 2. Well, if we came together and compared our rubrics together, that would be great conversations and a great way to guide our future lessons. And a great way when we're looking at possible other co-teaching models that we want to try out, that would be a good way to decide, okay, well, Nicole, why don't you focus on this on today's lesson? So we just wanted to share this out. I think this rubric will be really helpful in really helping you guys plan all of your lessons. So it will not take long to fill this out, I promise. You can just go through and save it and have it ready. And then when you guys are together at December PD, just spend a few minutes going over this so that you guys can really see your strengths and weaknesses as teachers. So that's the first thing we wanted to talk about, just reviewing the rubric. Nicole is going to just share with you, just as a review, some ways that you can all plan and guide your classes together.
Hey everybody, this is Nicole. Becky and I kind of talked about some of the co-planning ideas and examples of things that you could do previously before in our last session. And now we're going to show you an example of a PowerPoint and an example of a OneNote that can demonstrate some of those collaborative ideas. So as you go through, one of the things that you can do when you work on your PowerPoint together is at the bottom down here, you can put in notes so that your collaboration notes are down here together. You can script who's going to talk about what on a particular slide. You can put a name on a slide to show that one person's going to do a slide and another person's not. Remember that blue star or any color symbol or note that you may come up with to denote who is doing what. That's an excellent way as a verbal cue. Remember, you can give or a nonverbal cue, you can give each other verbal cues as well. For instance, this slide would be Becky's. So she would be, and she put down on here, that what strategy she's going to use. So there's some differentiating instruction down here. And then also there's a note that what I'm going to do, what Nicole's going to do as well. So we're both going to work together on this slide and facilitate it together. So use those verbal cues, use those nonverbal cues, put strategy pieces in it, note who's going to do which slide. And another thing that we could do is, looking at the different pieces that each person has expertise in. So if somebody's really good at a certain thing, break up the slides that way. You want both of your voices heard. And also look at those real-world applications, those whys that we talked about that are so important. Have somebody make sure that they find that and cover that for these slides. So there's a lot of things that you can do, but using the notes on the PowerPoint as you plan together is an excellent way to be able to help you as you plan and then also as you deliver your material. And then another way that you can work together and collaborate is to switch to a OneNote, or in addition to the PowerPoint, or in place of the PowerPoint planning, you can also use a OneNote, and you can collaborate together in a OneNote notebook. So, for instance, on December 3rd, Becky is going to make the whiteboard pieces, and she's going to use it as a model. I'm going to read and review the problems. We're going to create a ticket out the door. Becky's going to create the breakout rooms, and she's going to take data during the word problems. And then, we're going to review the slides that need to be tweaked for the next class, next session. 3 and 4 needs the manipulative pieces, so we're going to do that for the visual learners. We figured out what we need to put in there for those guys and our kids that are struggling. And then we've done some, obviously at this point, we've done some feedback, and we're going to add a new co-teaching model. We're going to do some parallel teaching, and we put the notes on the slides for that as we go. So you can do things like this that probably take 5-10 minutes just to briefly talk about things and go over things. You can both add to it, keep your ideas in there together. You don't have to sit down together to be able to do it. You can use tabs across the top for dates, or even for content sections. If you're, for instance, say Unit 1, you could make a Unit 1 tab, and then as you go down on the right side, you could add in the dates that you have there, the classes you have there, the skills you have there. OneNote has a lot of versatility for you to be able to organize it in a way that fits you and your partner's needs, and also allows you the ability to put a lot of information in here together in a very organized manner. And you can share this workbook so that you both have access to it and can use it. So remember to use some of those tips and tricks that we've come up with and talked about before in the past, and use those as a way to demonstrate your planning.
Thanks, Nicole. Right. So we just really wanted to just spend a few minutes with you today just going over so you guys can just see those examples. So here in your task, like I said, since we aren't meeting officially for an official December PD co-teaching session like we did at our last face-to-face PD, we really want to spend that second day. You're going to be having a lot of content time. So make sure, first of all, that you go into all of those sessions as a co-teaching team. You may have a great co-teaching team already, and there's always ways to improve. Even if you're fantastic at communicating, your sessions are going great, think of ways that you can make it even better. Maybe you can spend some time talking about some new ideas that maybe you haven't had time to implement yet. If you're a co-teaching team that maybe isn't as strong or needs to work on that communication, you need to be sure that you're still sitting together at those PD days during content time and communicating, collaborating together, because that's how you're going to build up that relationship. So make sure you really reach out together. Use that rubric if you need to. Be a conversation starter if the two of you haven't communicated well together in the past. And like Nicole said in the chat box, make sure you use each other's strengths. Each of you are going to have strengths and weaknesses as a teacher. So bring those to your classes, to your students. It will just make you have such a better class. And make sure you have conversations regarding your Class Connect sessions. So if you're together, for example, in your math content, and they're talking about future lessons and standards that you're going to be covering, think together as a co-teaching team how you can incorporate that and best present that to your students that are both struggling, that are advancing, that are on level for all of your students. And then get together and really look at that content and how you can incorporate those lessons into future co-teaching sessions. Think of new models of co-teaching that you can implement on certain content. Like we showed you with OneNote and the PowerPoint notes, think of ways that you can have discussions and make that class even stronger. during class. That too. But we just want to see some documentations of notes, either in OneNote or your PowerPoint, to show that you've had some co-teaching planning and discussion. So what we want you to do, I'm going to show you, let me share OneDrive for you. What we want you to do is to submit that evidence. Like I said, it can be in a PowerPoint or it can be with OneNote, and you can save, you can PDF that OneNote file or PDF or just load the actual PowerPoint into OneDrive. But I put a screenshot here. When you log in into OneDrive on Documents, this folder is going to be shared with all of you. I have to give it to your lead so that you have access. So if you do not have access, you can email me, cmedia@kswab.com, and I can give you access to that. So just send that to me if you don't see this folder. But you guys are just going to click on this folder and then click Upload, and it will allow you to upload that folder. So I'm just going to share it with you really quick so you can see. So you can see these are folders that I uploaded, but you'll find the December 2015 post-teaching planning evidence. You click on the folder and it will open, and then you can just click Upload and upload your actual PowerPoint, or if you get it in OneNote, you can upload your PDF copy of your OneNote notes. So just make sure you have that done. It doesn't have to be done the week of PD. If you can have it done that Friday after PD, that would be great. We're going to push out an Outlook invitation to you. But if you guys can have that done the Friday after PD, which is December 11th, just by the end of the day, by 4 o'clock, that would be great. And if you have any questions, just email Nicole or myself. I'll put Nicole's email in the chat box as well. I'm sorry, I didn't see the note. At kswab.com. So just email either one of us if you have any questions. Nicole, is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up?
No, I think that covers it. Just remember as you're going through this that if you have questions or if you have, if you're stuck, if you need help, if you need ideas, please reach out to Becky or I. We both have our emails in the box and have several of them. But reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you talk through some of the things if you have any questions.
Yes, and we'll be available during December PD, so if you want to find us, I'm not sure exactly where each of us will be, but we'll be floating around to the different school levels, so you can find us there as well. So just take some time. Again, just make sure you have that